Shalom, my brothers and sisters. Shalom and greetings. This is Day by Day Reflections and Thoughts to Yashar'al, Nation of Believers. My name is Symmanayah. Today is October 6, 2013. If you're tuning in for the first time to any of my presentations or recordings, you will grow to know that Yashar'al, Nation of Believers, of whom I reference, are all those who seek to worship and obey the Almighty Yahuwah, the Ancient of Days, the beginning, the end. All those who accept Yahushua as Mashiach as our Messiah. These are my brothers and sisters. This is my family to whom these messages are addressed. In this segment of Day by Day Reflections and Thoughts, I want to address structure and shape. Structure and shape. Details revisited. Who is able to discern the importance of details? Let's start with some scriptures and see if we can discover life in them. Genesis 2nd chapter verses 15 through 17. And Yahuwah Elohim took the man and put him in the garden of Eden to work it and to guard it. And Yahuwah Elohim commanded the man, saying, Eat of every tree of the garden, but do not eat of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, for in the day that you eat of it, you shall certainly die. Instructions, structure, shape in a garden. Who is able to discern such? Genesis 6 chapter, verses 14 to 22. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood. Make rooms in the ark, and cover it inside and out with tar. And this is how you are to make it. The length of the ark is 300 cubits, its width 50 cubits, and its height 30 cubits. Make a window for the ark, and complete it to a cubit from above, and set the door of the ark in its side. Make it with lower, second, and third decks. And see, I myself am bringing flood waters on the earth to destroy all flesh, in which is the breath of life from under the heavens. All that is on the earth is to die. And I shall establish my covenant with you, and you shall come into the ark, you and your sons and your wife and your sons' wives with you. And of all the living creatures of all flesh, 2 of each you are to bring into the ark to keep them alive with you, a male and a female, of the birds after their kind, and of the cattle after their kind, and of all creeping creatures of the earth after their kind. 2 of each are to come to you to keep them alive. As for you, take of all food that is eaten, and gather it to yourself, and it shall be food for you and for them. And Noah did according to all that Elohim commanded him, so he did. Was that not specific structure and details and instruction given to Noah? Can we somewhat envision a shape, a structure of the ark? Exodus chapter 3 verse 16. Go, and you shall gather the elders of Yashar'al together, and say to them, Yahuwah, Elohim of your fathers, the Elohim of Abraham, Yitzhak, and Jacob, or Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, as some know, Jacob's whose name was changed to Yashar'al. But the scripture says, Go, and you shall gather the elders of Yashar'al together, and say to them, Yahuwah, Elohim of your fathers, the Elohim of Abraham, Yitzhak, and Jacob, appeared to me, saying, I have indeed visited you and seen what is done to you in Mizraim. Exodus 4:29. And Moshe went with Aaron and gathered together all the elders of the children of Yashar'al. Exodus 24:9. And Moshe went up, also Aaron, Nadab, Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Yashar'al. You see, my brothers and sisters, in the gathering of Yashar'al, we can see that the Most High had Moshe gather the elders. We see where Aharon, or Aaron as you might know it, there was him, Nadab, Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Yashar'al. Does this sound like the beginning of structure? Does this sound like structured leadership in preparation for Yashar'al's exodus out of bondage? Numbers 11:16 reads, Then Yahuwah said to Moshe, Gather to me 70 men of the elders of Yashar'al, whom you know to be the elders of the people, and officers over them. So now we see elders and officers over them, and bring them to the tent of meeting, and let them stand there with you. Judges 7th chapter, verses 5 through 7. So he brought the people down to the water, and Yahuwah said to Gideon, Everyone who laps the water with his tongue, as a dog laps, separate him from everyone who bows down on his knees to drink. And the number of those who lapped, putting their hand to their mouth, were 300 men. And all the rest of the people bowed down on their knees to drink water. And Yahuwah said to Gideon, By the 300 men who lapped, I save you, and shall give Midian into your land. Let all the other people go, each to his place. Does not this describe warriors led by the Most High who worked through Gideon and selected 300 men? There was structure, there was shape, for a reason, for a purpose. Luke 10:1. And after this the master appointed 70 others and sent them 2 by 2 ahead of him into every city and place where he himself was about to go. Does it sound like the Mashiach established structure and shape on how those who were to witness of him, speak of him, were to go into the cities ahead of him? I invite you to read Romans 12th chapter, 1 Corinthians 12th chapter, and Ephesians 4th chapter. Again, that's Romans 12th chapter, 1 Corinthians 12th chapter, and Ephesians 4th chapter. Upon examining them, I submit to you there will be structure among Yashar'al. In order for structure to exist, my brothers and sisters, it must reflect some shape or form. It must present some type of shape in order for us to identify it as such. When establishing structure and shape, there must be a degree of discipline, otherwise confusion and division would create a disfigured or disjointed result. While many of us hunger for the unity of Yashar'al, it appears we are slow to respond when it comes to executing right rulings as guided by the Spirit of Yahushua. We fall short. We fall short on listening to his voice and establishing that. It appears that all too often we want to patronize each other and pat each other on the back and make each other feel good. Let us come away from that. Let us come to understand what iron sharpening iron means. For some reason, we fail to understand that we should execute right rulings as guided by the Spirit of Yahushua, one towards another. We should be of like mind in body and spirit when it comes to building up the body of believers, and we should allow ourselves to come together and be cleansed one towards another of any impurities or unrighteous or erroneous behaviors. Yes, my brothers and sisters, it's time. It's time. While many of us hunger for the unity in Yashar'al, we are slow and when it comes to executing right rulings. For some reason, we misinterpret the definition in our use of the term humble and humility. We tend to portray these terms as a degree of weakness by our descriptions. I've witnessed mores, teachers, elders, and other leaders void of understanding the term of humble and humility. I've witnessed them throw these words at one another, as well as brothers and sisters, in an effort to get them to submit to their ways and or words or teachings. This is rebellion and wickedness of which some are probably unaware of their erroneous actions. Yes, of course, there are those with hidden agendas who very well know what they are doing when they sling the word humble and humility at you. Be aware of the self-appointed mores, teachers, elders, leaders. Pray for discernment and understanding on what must be done in handling such self-appointed individuals. In most instances, it would be wise to just come away from such. Can we come to agree that from scriptures that were presented that Yashar'al will take some type of shape beyond what we are witnessing today? I along with others with like belief, are awaiting evidence that Yashar'al will be gathered from the four corners of the earth. We anticipate some degree of instruction, guidance, reproof, discipline, and all that is necessary to bring about the witness of Yashar'al coming together. While many may agree with me that we expect to see this before the return of the Mashiach, the Messiah Yahushua, not too many have given thought to the details and discipline required to bring such an event to pass. I submit to you, my brothers, living instructions and guidance complete with reproof, discipline, judgment, and wrath will be a part in the structuring and shaping of an awakening nation under the banner of Yashar'al, Almighty Yahuwah's people, led by the sovereign Yahushua. My brothers and sisters, whether we pay attention to details or not, this will not excuse their existence. It will not negate that they exist. Each of us have a task to accomplish in this war. This battle will not go ignored and will produce the victory yet to be witnessed. I want to encourage each of us to begin asking ourselves, what is the face of? And you fill in the blank. You complete that question. What is the face of? Complete this question with anything pertaining to expectations and or actions of righteousness. Also consider asking this question specifically towards things that are prophesied to occur regarding end times. Believe it or not, it is possible for the Spirit of Yahushua to reveal to us and present an image or images of what's to come. I believe with all my mind, body, and soul. I am compelled to believe when we begin to ask questions, it is a display of seeking. When we are sincere in our seeking, when we are earnest in our worship and determination to obey, expectations are increased, and just maybe our sight will become clearer and our ears unclogged. Let me give you some examples of what I mean by complete the question, what is the face of? What is the face of a united Yashar'al? So would there be a leader and elders and officers? What is the face of famine, drought, pestilence, and disease? In other words, what's the fallout? Can we expect fighting, chaos? Can we expect humility, humbleness, increase among those who seek to worship and obey? What is the face of the Almighty Father's living instructions, reproof, discipline, judgment, or wrath? Will we be happy all the time? Will we feel and reap pain? Will it yield the peaceable, the comforting fruit of righteousness? While asking these questions, develop a ready mind and seek out answers. Be alert. Answers may come in diverse ways. Many have heard the cliche of putting on your thinking caps. I submit to you, Yashar'al, let's put on our caps of discernment and understand what is expected of us. Details, yes, they will become visible regarding Yashar'al's structure and shape, regarding the martyrs who will be stayed in place to echo the messages from above. Yes, details will come visible regarding Yashar'al and the gathering of Yashar'al from the four corners of the earth. The things that are provided and done for the perfecting of Yashar'al will increase with intensity. Are we ready, my brothers and sisters? Are we ready, my family? Discernment cannot be mentioned enough. It will be wise for us to establish a ready mind, body, and soul for worshiping and discovering how to be more obedient to the living guidance and instruction of the Spirit of Yahushua. Yes, I have spoken about structure and shape in details before. As a beacon, as a watchman, as a servant, I pray that my actions are reflective of an obedient servant. I pray that this message, that these words come with the life that is necessary to bring about encouragement, to bring about a force that is used to lift up Yahushua Mashiach so that he gets all credit, all esteem, so that it is He, as our mediator, will lift up Almighty Yahuwah. I pray, my brothers and sisters, that my actions are reflective of an obedient servant to Him. Be encouraged, my brothers, my sisters. What will seem very painful to many will end with the fruit of righteousness being demonstrated among the true worshipers of the Most High Yahuwah. Our Father, our Almighty Creator, will honor and fulfill all His promises to us. Everything that is due to us, for us, everything that He stated that will happen will be. Until next time, I say to you, my brothers, let us behold the structure and shape of Yashar'al's emergence. Let us behold with clear eyes and open ears the magnificent work, the awesome and phenomenal things that are about to come. Until next time, my brothers and sisters, I pray that we come to accept that there will be structure and shape for Yashar'al. Until next time, I pray that we're able to endure until the end. Shalom, shalom, shalom.